Some people have called me a glutton for punishment. I prefer to think of myself as somebody who just likes to be challenged. For those of you who followed me for a while, you'll know that I used to be in banking. I stepped out of banking and I wanted to pursue two things. One, primarily, I wanted to open a cigar lounge. I really felt like I had a vision for what I wanted it to be, that it was going to be a place for guys to get together and really have that opportunity to have dialogue, robust dialogue if necessary, but ultimately to cultivate good conversation that happens naturally over cigars. The other part was to do a YouTube channel. I felt so strongly about the message that I wanted to get out, and I knew that I was so limited in my location, and so I started a YouTube channel. While both of these things take time to grow, I needed something to help me financially, so I wanted to go out and get a job. But like I said, I like to be challenged, and I didn't want to go back into banking. I wanted to do something where I could learn a skill that I do not have. If you saw my video about me trying to install a baby gate and the debacle that happened there, you know that I am not one who is naturally gifted with a mechanical skill set. So that's why I went and got a job for a commercial tire and services center working as a lube and tire technician. I wish you could have seen the interview process, because my boss now sat down and looked at my resume and said, "So, looks like you've got a lot of background in banking. Tell me what you know about vehicles." I smiled and said, "I don't know anything, but I want to know a lot more." I told him about my journey of not wanting to be in the white collar industry anymore. I really wanted to be a blue collar worker. I wanted to be a skilled tradesman, and I didn't know a trade. Well, he took a shot on me, and this Monday I started working in the automotive industry. You can imagine the type of hazing that can come with somebody who comes in as a banker to work on cards. One of the supervisors came out and asked me, said, "So what do you know about vehicles? I know you've been in banking, but do you know anything about vehicles?" I turned around and I said, "I don't know anything. I am a blank slate. Teach me your ways." The best was, as we were getting ready to leave, he's walking out to his truck and all the other guys have got their trucks out there, but I intentionally left my truck at home. I went in my Prius because I knew they would rag on me for driving a Prius to work. And sure enough, they took the bait. The same supervisor who I had said I knew nothing about cars walked out and saw me going to the Prius and said, "Oh no, don't tell me you drive a Prius too." I said, "You better believe it. This thing gets incredible gas mileage and I'm just going to and from work. I don't need to have something fancy." Now I can laugh about it, but honestly, there was something inside of me that really did struggle with not knowing anything and going into this field so ill-equipped, just wondering, what in the world am I doing? I'm 41 years old. Who goes into something like this at this stage of your life? Like, you've already committed to something else. Don't try and start something new. That's absurd. And there's that idea that most men who work with their hands are extra manly, and if you come in there and you can't do anything with your hands or with tools or anything like that, you're automatically going to be looked down upon as less of a man. Now, I know those are stereotypes, and some of you may not ever even think that way, but that was the thing that was going through my head as I was driving home. And then I had that moment of just clarity where I stopped and said, why would I look down upon myself for being willing to take on something this hard? It's not easy to jump into something so far out of your comfort zone at 41 years old. You start to get set in your ways once you cross 40. You don't want to try and learn something new. You want to just really cultivate the things that you do and you do well, and just stay comfortable in what you know. Just as I encourage myself to get over that self-defeating monologue that I had running through my head, I want to challenge you too. Don't keep yourself from doing something hard just because it's hard, because you're worried about what other people are going to think about you, what they're going to say. Who cares what they think? Seriously, who cares? If it's something that you want to do, don't let the fear of what somebody else is going to say hold you back. Be willing to put yourself in a situation like I did, driving the Prius to work. I could have driven the truck, but I drove the Prius because I knew what was going to come against me. Allow yourself to anticipate the pushback that you're going to get and be prepared ahead of time so that when you are faced with it, you can rise up to that in that moment. Rather than having that opposition catch you off guard, you can actually use it to propel you forward as confirmation of, I can handle this. I can do this. It's not bigger than me. I can rise above it. I can do hard things. Who's to say what's going to come from my time here in my new job? I really do enjoy it. I enjoy the people that I work with. Like I said, some of them have given me a hard time, but ultimately it's in good fun. I anticipated it. I knew I was going to be ragged on. I would rag on me if I were in their shoes as well, so I don't fault them for it. I really have felt encouraged to learn. They are very willing to help me out, so it really is a great opportunity for me. But I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to play out. I hope for the best, but I'm prepared for whatever comes of it. I hope you enjoyed hearing the story about me stepping into this new world. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up, put something down in the comments section, share it on social media, and I will see you next time when we can share a cigar and change the world.